Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Why, a series where I make expressions on various subjects, sometimes in a nice manner, other times in a rant-like manner. Today we are going to talk about why I'm not all that fond of the first-person shooter. I hope you're ready. I love quite a few first-person shooter games. In other words, the genre itself isn't the problem. I love games like Fallout 4, Bioshock, and Grand Theft Auto 5. The problems come down to something not a lot of writers pick up on for some reason. They use a genre as their main crutch and add absolutely nothing to the game. I'm of course talking about games like Call of Duty. Those games that release one after another, year by year. Okay, well that's mostly Call of Duty. I'm sure these games have stories, but they are so bland I often find it hard to get into. I can understand why people play these games. They can be fun, but they get really boring very quickly. I specifically remember Call of Duty Ghosts being big. Played a few rounds with my now ex-boyfriend and a couple of his friends. It was fun for 2 or 3 rounds. It mostly all falls down to the replayability. The games aren't very replayable, and the stories, if there are any, are very forgettable at best. Unpopular opinion, but Doom falls into the same category. I guess what I'm saying is you'll never see me playing those games. I find it sad that so many developers only look to how they can improve the graphics of these games. That is one of the very few things people look for in these games anymore. Just look at the trailer for the newest Battlefield or Call of Duty. It's just, whoa, look at this. 4K and nothing else. Can anyone explain to me what the difference is? I guess it's weird for me because I watch videos at 360 half the time on my phone. I do have a 4K TV, but I can't really tell the difference. Maybe it's just because I don't, watch a whole lot of 4K stuff because there isn't a lot out there. Because the cameras are like $40,000. At least Halo likes to have cool armor sets, though. I think it has a minor story. I'd try it, but I don't think I could ever buy an Xbox. It's way too much to play one game. Maybe I'll try it on the 360. Maybe if they put it on Steam, I wouldn't have to. We can all dream of Pokemon and Halo and Steam, can't we? Overall, the genre itself feels completely overloaded. Half the games out there are first-person shooters. It's very formulaic. I'm just bored of all these first-person shooters, and that's why I want to make an isometric RPG. But that's why I'm not very fond of first-person shooters. And now, I'm going to tell you all about a game proposal, because I'm not planning on making a first-person shooter game, or a first-person game at all. So take this idea. The idea works as so. You start the game in any fashion you might. However, your objective is to use the first person to your advantage. In other words, you do something that's often underutilized in a lot of first-person shooters and first-person games in general. You use the point of view character's view to tell parts of the story. It's often portrayed that the main characters of these types of stories are insane and talk to themselves. I mean, it's realistic to me because I often do talk to myself, but I know I'm crazy. No one can tell me otherwise. I'm talking to myself right now. What are you gonna do about it? So for example, say that you're playing as some lady. You are a wife, you have a child, and your husband is really good with children. You're perfect, harmonious, nuclear family. It's a little cringy. Now imagine how cool it would be to see your husband just passionately shoving that round plastic bottle into that baby's mouth. The baby calmly sips from it, looking up, staring at his father with unforgiving eyes, as if it would kill him. May he take the bottle away. Babies are scary sometimes. Change my mind. Imagine none of that was described, and this is all happening during a conversation your character is having with this man. Instead of describing the situation like most games, you could have the characters talk about major plot points, or how they're going to go to a party tomorrow, or how they really need to start buying condoms because they can't afford this kid, let alone another. I'm just saying you have the opportunity of using first-hand close-up details to tell a story. The worst part is that this idea isn't thought of by a lot of people. Even if this specific genre has literally the least amount of excuses to not follow show don't tell. Think of all the non-verbal jokes you could do with this, the untold story details, the Bethesda type of bugs you could include where you couldn't otherwise. It's all up to your imagination. Now go, get out there, create an immersive experience with tons of details, and please make whoever makes Call of Duty games, please make them stop making those every year. They're getting very old. It's like Far Cry. It's the same game over and over again. It's getting old. Please make them stop.